This video, I'm going to recap my trading session today where I made roughly $3,000. It was not a one and done type of day. I actually took 4 entries. I'm pretty happy with all of them. So just to start with my plan that I created, this is a weekly profile, and then on the right, I have a composite that started from the beginning of the year. So this zone right here is a high volume node. And essentially what I did was I marked this out and I expected real selling to step in around this level. So this was essentially a long target that I had on the session. And then you can see some other levels that I had marked out. And these were basically just the beginning of low volume areas, or from my understanding, this is my first like 2 weeks trading volume profile levels. I love it so far. Like, I love it so much. These levels look a little different now because obviously the session had already happened, but before the session opened, essentially my main thesis was kind of revolving around this 636 level and also this 650 level. So before we bounced here a few times, I had this marked out, and I believe that this is basically, so you can see by looking at the weekly profile over here, this level actually further developed to be more like a 34, 35 level. But before price traded down here, I had it marked out at 637, 636. This is basically where volume completely dropped off. So I was expecting it to possibly bounce, which it did. Then same thing with this 650 area. This was another weekly level that you can't really see clearly right now, but you can see price was kind of channeling in between these two levels, right? So my whole thesis for the session revolved around what happened down here and up here. And essentially I wanted to play a break above 650 to target the 675. That was my overall plan for the day. Like I said, it did not go that smooth at all. I took 4 entries. I believe they are all valid, and I'm gonna walk you guys through those right now. So hop it over to my live session recording. If you guys wanna see these, just go on my YouTube channel and go to playlists and you'll see live sessions. I stopped doing public live streams because there's no point in it for me. I just have anyone in my Discord can watch me trade live if they want to. I just send the link every day. But if you want to replay them, if you want to watch them for yourself, just go to my playlists. They're all there. So I can tell you guys right now what this entry is I was viewing all of this buying down here at the 636 level as being absorbed. I was viewing these participants as they were getting absorbed because there have been a few sessions in the last week where in the first like 5-10 minutes of the open, there has been significant absorption, and I have not taken those plays at all. I've just noticed them. So today I thought I saw it, and obviously I turned out to be wrong. You can see I stop out for a full 4 points. This is actually looks like it slipped a little bit past my order or whatever, but at this point I can tell you I flipped my bias, and now I was looking for a pullback to get long, and you'll see me, I can just skip to it because I think it takes a second. We get a nice pullback down to the 36s. And I remember looking at this CVD and thinking that it looked very strong. So I took it. What I wanted to see happen, and basically that was a hold of this area from like 38s down to 32s. So I took it at 37.25, right? And the reason for my entry right there was because I thought I was seeing the CVD kind of turn around and this selling slow down. So that's why I pulled the trigger on it. Definitely could be seen as an early entry, and you'll see price kind of like fights it out a little bit down here. That scared me. That was a huge red flag for me. You can see you have this move up and then immediately smash back down. That is not a green flag in a trade, but you guys know me. I'm not going to take anything off prematurely, especially a long position. Sometimes buyers are just, they don't act the same as sellers a lot of the times. At least that's what I've noticed. So like I'm more open to letting long positions kind of like do their thing until they stop me out completely. Either way, you can see that level that I told you guys that I wanted to see hold. It held very well. And at this point we are off. And my first target was at 650, which is essentially like the top of a value area, if I remember correctly. Value area being essentially top of a range. So I took one contract off at 650. And at this point, I am targeting 675 for my final target. That was my planned target for the day. I'm just going to skip ahead, and you see price pulls back, and actually this looks like a lot more significant absorption than what I saw earlier. But either way, price pulls back all the way back, and stops me out. And then we had data at 9. So I waited for data. I waited for the dust to settle. All right. So I remember, I think this happens right now. So similar to my first entry, same thing. I'm viewing these buyers right here as trapped. I still believe that I was correct in that analysis. You guys will see what happens where I could have flipped my thesis around in a few seconds here. So I'm viewing these buyers right here as trapped. You can see the CVDs clearly moving upward, prices clearly struggling to move at all. I took it short. So I took it short, and you can see it worked out in the beginning. But as soon as I see this activity right here, it seemed like a lot of strong selling came in and failed to move price below this 35, which was the area I was watching. It's essentially the bottom of a value area. So I see this and I'm like, ooh, that's not a good thing at all. That's actually a good sign to get long right here. Once again, I don't close my positions early because I just don't like doing that, but I get stopped out for another loss right there. At this point, I flip my thesis again and I'm like, all right, we don't want to go below 36. Now I have to look for my original plan once again, which is to get long targeting 675. So all of my entries today, none of them have been bad in terms of like a thesis or anything like that. They've all had a thesis. The first one was arguably like the worst entry. I mean, I still had a thesis and everything, but at this point, what happens is, at this point, the context is there. You can see price completely failed to move below 35. And then I believe, I don't know if I can still see it, but on Sierra chart, this 44 area. So on Sierra chart, I saw that this 44 area, there was a lot of transactions that occurred there. So the fact that we reclaimed it is a bullish sign, right? And you can see, since we've been chopping in this range for so long, and we kind of took out the highs of it, we took out the lows of it, and then we failed to break 36. And then we moved up to 44, which I could see was a point of interest on the session. After that occurs, I see some good buying there. I see some large buying there. And I decided that I don't even think this thing's gonna pull back because we were just down here. We moved up off of it like twice already in the session. So I was like, I'm not thinking a pullback's gonna happen here. I'm gonna get in here because this is where value had already built. We reclaimed it. And you can see large buying activities happening right here. So I made the quick decision to go long at 46. I have 4-point stop as all my trades today have. Yeah, this is my last entry of the day. I took one contract off around the 60s, which is around a 15-point profit on the first target. And for my second target, I did not hold it until 75. I could have, but I decided that I wanted to just get it all out at 69 because that would have been a nice 24-point profit. I mean, what am I going to do? Wait for an extra like 4 points on one contract? But one more thing on the way there, I remember telling my stream, for this long to still be valid, I wanted to see a hold above 52. Clearly it does that like perfectly. And then we make my final run up to the target and I get out for 1,500 profit times 2 on the day. So that was probably a lot of words for you guys. I'm sorry that that was probably just like a lot to follow along. Another thing I'll leave this video off on is, if you guys didn't know, I fully incorporated Sierra and just volume profile in my higher time frame analysis, because I believe that was one thing that I really lacked in my trading. And I think that it kind of contributed to me taking a lot of bad entries and setups that were low probability. And I can tell you right now, I'm 2 weeks into using this, like the profile and everything. And it's crazy how accurate and respected a lot of these levels are. And like, not necessarily like you guaranteed know something's going to bounce somewhere or something is going to sell off from somewhere. Not even just that, but just like watching price reacting to them. Like, just for example, this 36 level, this level I had marked out before price even, like price was up at the 50s when I marked this out. And look at this, 1, 2, on top of that, this 50 level was the same thing. And you can see price was bounced off it, came below it, reclaimed, broke it, retested it. Like, I'm sure to people who trade volume profiles, this is nothing surprising, but I can honestly say that one area my trading has always, or I've lacked confidence, is my higher time frame analysis. And just like, I don't like finding levels just off of the chart. Like I don't trust them, and I don't take them into account as much as I should. But like with these profile levels, I feel like just feel way more foundationally secure. I don't know how to like explain it, but anyways, there goes a nice 20-minute yap for you guys about my session today. So I'll catch you guys in the next video.